I'm still alive, as you can see. Blood's still moving around all in here. Shit's happening behind the scenes. Let's go. I want to talk about a couple of movies that are really amazing. Fight Club is my favorite movie. I don't know if you know anything about me. I just love that movie. I remember seeing it for the first time. I was just at a school, I think, like just for a couple of years or whatever. And that movie came out, and just I don't know why, but I really liked it. I didn't understand it at all. It didn't make any sense to me, but I loved it. And then over the years, I've been learning a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more about it. And even if you just consider on like a directorial level, on like an editing level, on a lighting level, on just camera angle level, like just sheer attractiveness of the look of the movie, it's out of this world good. Then on top of that, you have this phenomenal script that's just multi-layered. It's got like, I don't even know how many layers. It's ridiculous. Like, and a lot of people don't get it. I mean, sure, it's a story that it's just a guy who doesn't know how to deal with his problems, and then develops a. Oh, I want to ruin it for you. Develops a. Maybe I should. Nah, okay, whatever. Go watch the movie. Just turn this off right now if you haven't seen Fight Club, and just go watch it. Anyway, develops a split personality, and then the split personality seems cool to him because he's the opposite of him, and then all of a sudden the split personality goes too far, and then he can't go there anymore, and he realizes he has to cut himself off from the split personality there, and making himself his own person. So that's basically the story. But there's 8 rules in Fight Club, and there's 8 tenets of Buddhism. There's also a lot of it's like communism in there, and there's also what's the other one? Maybe a little fascism, and there's one more. Anyway, it's just a whole bunch of the Fight Club philosophy is a whole bunch of things wrapped together. It's crazy. I just love it. I think it's phenomenal. It's just there's so many things that get said in that movie, like the modern day guy, right? Women are going through a revolution. They have been for the past little while. I don't know when it started. It's been kind of on the back burner there for a while, but just recently, in the last, I don't know, few years, 10 years maybe, women have really moved, ahead in the power. Like it's not like in the 50s when, the woman cooked supper and the guy sat and drank beer. It's not like that at all anymore. It's women are just as free as guys are to go down to a club and pick up a guy and take him home and do whatever with him, and then just not call him if they want to. I mean, women are really at a good point in that they can do just about what, just anything we can. And it's kind of scary for guys because right now we don't really have anything to kind of unite us, you know what I mean? Like when our parents were kids, it was like, hey, World War II, was just over, right? Well, depending on how old your parents are, but or Vietnam was something to pull you all together. Right now we got this Iraq war, which is not doing anything like that at all. I mean, they're trying to make it like the, hey, it's Vietnam again, hey, come, support the troops and all that, but we don't really have anything to pull us together to make us really dig deep and become men again, right? So we're too pampered, and we just, I don't know, a lot of guys are getting in touch with their, feelings. It's crazy. So anyway, that whole culture of guys that just don't have a place in the world. They just don't feel they have an aim. I felt like that too. I just feel like I don't have something to put my life towards. I want to take something and just pour my life into it and just go 100% on it. But it's just what can you do that with, right? I mean, there's jobs, there's careers, but you can only work so hard at your job before you hit dead ends. I mean, it's a job. But I'm thinking more along the lines of, some great, lifetime effort, like climbing Mount Everest or something crazy like that, Anyway, so this guy, the main character in the story, feels this feeling, and he doesn't deal with his problems at all. He's crazy, basically, is how it goes. He's already crazy because he can't sleep, and just one day he just snaps. One day, and he's on the plane, and he's saying, I pray for a crash sometimes when the plane banks too sharply on takeoff or landing. And at that moment, there's the CGI moment where the plane rips in half, and then that's when Tyler comes in, because Tyler has been appearing here and there subliminally in the movie, but then he finally comes out and is like, as far as physically there as much as he can be. That's when Tyler finally comes out and says, I've had enough of this shit. I'm going to take over and I'm going to show you what everything is. So he's the polar opposite of the main character, because the main character will think one thing and then say another. Like he's always what's being unsaid is always going on in his head. Like what he wants to say, but he never does say. And he's like Tyler is a very he's like an id. Like he's just like the Superman. He's very little underneath. Like he's very much the surface layer is pretty much all you get. There's nothing underneath. He's full out, swinging for the fences all the time. That's all he is. And that's why the main character really is drawn to him, because he finds that very liberating, because he doesn't know how to do that himself. He's like, I can't be that way, but I wish I could, And then eventually Tyler takes him on a series of, like quests, basically. Like he's got to, in Buddhism, if you want to become your own master, you have to basically destroy everything and then rebuild it. Like you have to reject your family and reject God and reject your peers, and then finally you can be your own person, right? So Tyler tells him that owning things, things that you own end up owning you. So Tyler ends up starting like an army, basically, of miscreants who are feeling the same way as the narrator, because they're as easily as gullible as he is. And he basically forms his own little personal communistic army. Really, they don't have anything, and there's no possessions. They don't fight over things. They're just a bunch of yes men. They just do exactly what Tyler wants. So eventually Tyler cuts himself off. He rejects the main character, and the main character's been rejected his whole life. So this is why it's a real bummer for him. He rejects him and saying, "Look, you can't do this." He's like, "I'll still be there for you. I'll still carry you along, but you're not going to be involved in anything." And that's when the main character gets mad and finally says, "Well, fine, I reject you." And that's when the shit kind of hits the fan. It's a fantastic movie. I've been studying it for a long time, and when I watched the director's commentary, I learned a lot. But then I went on to Internet Movie Database and I started reading through the posts, the forum pages, and the theories, and you could easily write a thesis on this movie. It's phenomenal. I just love it. It's great. I think I've pretty much covered all the bases. I'm really tired, so I don't know. You can tell. Look at the bags under my eyes, man. I look like Ed Norton. He's got big bags too.